Hi guys, this is Widor.
And Osha.
Let's start episode 142 of Ask Widor and Osha podcast. This question was sent by David. He writes, I really can't thank you enough for making all of these resources available. I have a private teacher who studied under Dr. Barbara MacGregor. However, Dean and his family have been having health issues, so our lessons have not been consistent. Though he is gracious in meeting with me to answer questions and correct me when I ask. It has been my dream to be a proficient church organist. My wife is a United Methodist Pastor, and perhaps to do some recitals and some composing. I practiced on a real Møller organ, but where I play once a month is an electronic Alain organ. Your materials have kept me moving forward. You've spoken about lineage through you to Bach. Here also is my lineage through Dean. So, 1. David Koch, that's me. 2. H. Dean Wagner. 3. Barbara MacGregor. 4. Marie-Claire Alain. 5. Marcel Dupré. 6. Louis Vierne and Charles-Marie Widor. 7. Jacques-Nicolas Lemmens. 8. Adolf Friedrich Hesse. 9. Christian Heinrich Rinck. 10. Johann Christian Kettel, or Kettel, we should say. And 11. Johann Sebastian Bach. For all you do, thank you and God bless, David. It's amazing, Osha, that people can calculate their lineage through ages until Johann Sebastian Bach, right?
Yes, it's amazing, and I think we should need to be thankful to George Ritchie, who introduced us to, this sort of, thinking about J.S. Bach and feeling as a part of that big organ tradition that lasts for centuries.
Although, when we published that early post about our lineage through Bach, is basically an idea, is a nice idea, but of course we have to remember that among those masters, especially in 20th century, in French tradition and even in German tradition, there were people who would do different things than Bach did, right? They would, let's say, Marcel Dupré, he believed Bach's music should be performed in one way. Today we are not agreeing with him, right?
Well, but these sort of things, these are just, details in terms of a larger picture.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important is that we are all carrying, that organ tradition.
Absolutely. And that, of course, helps us to see the big picture.
Yes, and that also places sort of responsibility on each of us. To be better, to practice more, and to do the best we can.
And what comes next? For example, our students.
Yes, and to spread our message as far as we can.
Right. If guys you are considering yourself, let's say, our students, it's a little bit dangerous because we don't know everyone, right?
Yes.
It's a long distance relationship. But still, our teaching, across the globe spreads wide and far. And people might say, oh, we are studying with Widor and Osha. That's fine. Until a certain point, right?
Yeah.
If it's ethical. And then what comes next? You have to think about your own students, right? Students, like 12th generation or 13th generation too, because then your own students will probably continue this tradition if you present it well.
Yes.
If you transmit it the best way you can possibly transmit, of course.
Mm-hmm. And thinking about this, chain of generations, starting from J.S. Bach, it's very interesting because I never thought that I'm so close actually to it. But when you start to count, when you look that it's not so far ago happened.
Exactly.
That not so many people are in between you and Bach.
And going further into history than Bach, you could say Buxtehude, right? And then through Buxtehude you could say things like Tunder, and Tunder also goes back probably through his interactions in let's say Lübeck, and Hamburg was related there too, so Scheidemann, Svelling comes into play, at least indirectly, right? And then what comes before Svelling is also interesting, like people from Italy, theorists and composers, Zarlino, right? The famous theorist and composer, and before him in the Renaissance period, and it can really literally go into probably the earliest instances of organ literature that we know today. Not only organ, probably choral too.
Yes, church music probably.
Mm-hmm. So organ music is like maybe 7 centuries long. The earliest instance of surviving notation is from about 1350 or 60 or middle of 14th century, basically, the famous Robertsbridge Codex, and they have several dances which are called estampes, and we can at least hypothetically connect emotionally with that collection too, right?
Yes, maybe too far back for me.
We don't know what happened in those centuries, right? But yes, do you think we could we trace our lineage back to let's say people who played hydraulis?
I don't know this, but actually I just read an article, that, let's see, for example, in Lithuania, we could all trace our, lineage back to our only one king, Mindaugas.
Really?
I mean, if a person had, the kids and grandkids, it means that, through a few centuries, the genes spread all over that, area.
Mm-hmm.
So we might all, have, or maybe not Mindaugas so much, because I don't know if his kids survive, but like our Grand Duke Vytautas, that's for sure. But we are all, grand children of him,
mm-hmm.
of his lineage.
This year in Lithuania is kind of very special because in 2018 we are celebrating 100th anniversary of restoration of Lithuanian independence.
Yes, that's actually the 100th year of modern Lithuania,
mm-hmm.
modern independent Lithuania.
Yes.
That happened after the First World War.
February 16th of 1918.
Yes. Because the end of First World War, helped for many actually European countries, to declare their independence.
Yeah. But then later the Nazis came and
when the Soviets came and when the Soviet occupation began, that lasted for 50 years.
Yeah. And only finally in 1990, March 11, we declared our restoration of independence again.
Yes.
We've been independent for almost 28 years now.
Yes. That's a good question. For how long? Don't you think sometimes about this question?
Well, let's hope the peace will last and the reason will prevail and emotions and madness will pass. And I think political, diplomatic solutions are always better way than military solutions.
Yes, that's true. Because even when now we can spread our knowledge and share our thoughts with everybody in the world, that wouldn't be possible otherwise. If the
if like
history would take another turn.
If like some dictator would close down the internet, right?
Yes.
And we would have to be enslaved again and
to leave our country. That's what happened, during the Second World War.
A lot of people emigrated.
Yes. Then we saw that the Soviets are coming.
Mm-hmm. Sad history, but we're hopeful for the future, and we're thankful, guys, that you're listening this, that you are continuing this tradition, that you are helping this tradition of many centuries after SMP, after Robert Bridge Codex, after Zarlino and Svelling and Bach, to continue. And we are hopeful for the future that through our efforts and your efforts too, it will continue for many centuries to come.
Let's go for it.
Alright. And let's practice now. Enough talking, right?
Yes.
And enough theoretical hopes.
Don't forget to practice every day.
Good. Thanks, guys. This was Vidas.
And Osha.
And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.